Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Embracing the negative, what could I possibly be speaking about? Well, I'm going to recommend that you think about some very negative things with the goal of triggering you and helping you to keep your priorities in check and to make sure your gratitude is engaged so as not to forget what's important to you. And I know that's strange, but be open to the idea because it's just a tool to perhaps bring back happiness into view right here in the present. If it makes sense to you, you can maybe use some of the tools. And if not, it may be something that can be helpful to you at some point in the future. If that's at all intriguing, stick around, let me explain, and let's just get super negative because that's what's on the agenda. I have clients who come back after having worked with me for a little coaching when they've maybe hit a rough patch with their new relationship, most often a relationship that we've discussed previously. Things have maybe jumped the tracks and aren't going in the right direction, and I try to help those clients find their way back and mostly get them thinking. This has worked well for a lot of clients who were trying to save a relationship, which, isn't everybody because sometimes people are just looking for an excuse to leave or end a relationship and they just want my permission. And I remind you, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a matchmaker and a dating coach who has pretty good common sense about relationships and dating, and I've helped coach lots of clients into finding the answers that they were looking for by just giving them tools to help them figure out things when they weren't sure. And I wanted to share with you this tool that I've used in relationships where by looking back and remembering the reasons you fell in love with this person to begin with, perhaps traveling down memory lane by using a photo album or listening to music to trigger old feelings and help you remember that at one point you felt things that were very tangible. And maybe you've just lost touch with those memories. The other piece of this is that it can be helpful to remember that this person, this partner of yours, was once a single person and they were dating other people before they committed to you. They were a desirable human in the world. And to picture the future in that same way can sometimes be helpful to some people. Picture your partner back out on the dating scene, meeting and learning about new people, and think about maybe how that would feel to you. It's pretty negative, I know, but it can be helpful. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should stay with somebody because you don't want to think about or see them with somebody else. That's just immature. That's very high school, a mentality that young people think, I don't want you, but I don't want anybody else to have you either. That's definitely not what I'm referring to. If you don't love a person anymore, then by all means, you should set them free to find somebody who will love them dearly. That's an act of kindness, not selfishness. But if you still love this person and just feel like you're not currently able to tap into those old romantic feelings of love, this tool can be very helpful for some people. We have a very short time here to enjoy this journey. And if love isn't the sole purpose of our existence, it's certainly a huge part of living a full life. So as a second tool, I don't think it's morbid to remind ourselves that we won't be here forever. And the people and perhaps animals, like the one sitting next to me that we love so dearly, will also not be here forever. It's a great reminder to make sure that we're living in the moment and making time to feel gratitude for the relationships that we have in our lives, relationships that we value. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to be working with Zoog. This is an iOS app that I've been using with my grandkids for well over a year now. It is so fun and creative and clever and a really fantastic way for me to stay connected with the kids despite them being a whole plane ride away. Zoog supplies you with a huge and growing library of stories, songs, jokes, and educational videos, and all you have to do is to read or sing along. Zoog does all the work to make these videos really come to life. They give you a virtual background, costume and wigs and virtual props. So I reached out to the folks at Zoog a couple weeks ago to ask if I could offer it to you with a discount code, and they said yes. So if you're on a computer now, just use your iPhone to scan this code here or click on my special link in the description box below so that you'll automatically get 30% off. A funny little story. Some of you might know that my daughter and the kids were all here last week. One morning, Desi asked Rachel if he could have her phone to watch emo movies. I'm Ema, and that's what he calls all the Zoog videos of my songs and stories that I send him every week. And Rachel was like, Desi, Ema is sitting right next to you, and there's a pile of books on the table. Why don't you just have her read to you? But if you've experienced Zoog, you totally understand. Ema sitting next to him wasn't surrounded by animals on a farm, and I wasn't wearing a farmer's costume like when I sing Old MacDonald with the music on the app. So there I was sitting next to my own grandchild while he watched me read stories and sing to him on my iPhone. If you haven't downloaded Zoog on your Apple device, you just have to do it. Use my link, though, to get the 30% off and a free trial if you need it. Your family is going to love Zoog as much as we do. I promise you, I don't use Zoog because they're a partner. They're a partner because I've been using the app for over a year, and I beg them to let me do this. So check it out. I bring up animals because if you're an animal lover, you know how pure that love is, unconditional. And then at some point, you're likely to have lost a beloved pet and friend, family member. What's that quote? The true price of a dog's love is a broken heart. Still, it's the best bargain we ever make. I keep that in my phone, and it reminds me to be grateful for these beasts when they're annoying the heck out of me sometimes. And if you know that feeling of wanting just one more day, one more week, sadly, we all lose loved ones in our lifetime. That's life. Remaining aware of that fact keeps you from taking them for granted. Love is so powerful, and it's such a drive for humans that we have to ask, how can we find love and then not cherish it and take care of it? Especially when you realize it's for such a brief time. I know that this could be construed as morbid by some people, but I heard it somewhere recently, a recommendation that when you hug a loved one, you should think about the fact that they won't be here forever. Note briefly that this could be your very last hug, your last time holding this person close. And then remember that you're lucky right now to be holding them, to be hugging them. So I ask you, do you love this person, this partner? Well, they're there now. You have them in your arms right now. You have the opportunity to let them know how you feel, and at the very least, to feel a silent gratitude as you remember that nothing lasts forever. Impermanence makes things even more valuable. Also, it can really help you in deciding whether you care about this person or not, whether this is someone you value, or whether, on the other hand, this is a romantic person you could be without and be fine with that. Asking yourself in this way assures that you're making an intentional decision based on how you truly feel. We're losing people and loved ones all the time. It's terrifying, but so brave to put your heart on the line, to take that joy where you can get it, knowing that you could lose it at any time. And I'm not saying I want you to walk around in your life constantly thinking about death or losing loved ones, but that gratitude is definitely a tool that's helped a lot of people better understand how they feel about a particular person or a partner or relationship. These are just two things that have come in handy for me personally and for clients that I've worked with. I thought I'd mention it to you, and if you're in a long-term relationship, or maybe even not that long or that old of a relationship, but one you believe is going to be an important relationship in your life. Focusing on those negative thoughts of losing someone can sometimes throw you immediately into the positive lane. And if not, it gives you something else to think about, and you'll need some other tools to help you explore that. It's not easy keeping love alive for 50 years or more, but it is possible, and I'm certain that gratitude plays a huge part in doing it successfully. So I hope you found those thoughts interesting and perhaps even helpful or hopeful. I mean both. And I hope you'll check out this episode on why settling is not a 4-letter word. Hey, before you leave, please give my mom a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe before you take off. Look forward to seeing you back here again soon. And until next time, thank you and have a good one.